25 minutes before 11 o'clock, Joe Reichel is here to answer your questions about what you can do to make your home back to the way it should be after that tree fell on it, God forbid. I know some of you have that happening, though, so, and how I know is because Joe posts photographs on Facebook of the jobs he's been called to. Joe Reichel is with Damage Control Services. It's his company, it's his business, it's his baby. And of course, he fixes our homes when they become damaged for one reason or another. So many different reasons. Right now, it seems like the big one we hear about most often is tree damage. In fact, on Carol Ann's show, half hour ago or so, she was telling us about a tree that fell on her daughter's porch.
Right.
And brought up his. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. Yeah, we've had lots of calls for trees on homes this past week. Well, starting yesterday, we dried one in of a tree that fell last week. They got it off on Monday.
Wow.
Monday at about 1:30, they got it off the house, and then we were out there tarping it in the rain. So just as it started raining, we're putting the tarp out.
Was that you on the roof?
I was on the roof.
That was I saw the photograph of somebody on the roof. And
No, not on that picture.
Okay.
That was the tree guys taking it off.
Okay.
But,
Because it looked dangerous to me, is what I was going to say.
That job, large tree, lots of holes all over the roof.
That is just so, what's the word, discouraging? That's so annoying. I don't know what word I would use if it happened to me. It was just so
and here's what, on that particular
Devastating.
job, devastating is a great word for it. In that particular job, she didn't call a tree person out right away. She waited on her insurance company.
Oh, no.
And so several days the tree sat there with nothing happening. And fortunately, she didn't get any rain last week, but then over the weekend, this weekend, we got lots of rain, and she had quite a bit of rain inside her home because of this. And that's one thing. If disaster strikes, no matter what it is, if it's a fire, a flood, storm, tree damage, car in your home, whatever it is, insurance-related disaster, as a homeowner, do what you can immediately to get things taken care of. So, if it's a tree falls, take pictures of it, call a tree guy, get them out there, and get the tree off the home so that it can be tarped in quickly to keep more damage from happening. If it's a fire, board up afterwards, board up the windows, and get a company out there that can do it. But start doing things so that you don't have in the case of fire, you'll have vandals. If it's flood damage, get a company out there, some sort of a disaster restoration company, mine or another, and start the process of getting the drying done, dehumidifiers, fans, and that way you don't have mold, and mold growing in that case, or a lot more damage. This house that we're on now will have a lot more damage because of the rain that got inside. So,
what occurred to me, or has occurred to me a few times actually since knowing you and having these discussions. Here's the best way I can explain this. In doing the news for the radio station, typically after a storm comes through, I will call the sheriff's office and the emergency people and say, did we have any trees down? One or two. And so that's the only time I'm ever really aware of trees falling on homes. And usually, which is I guess a good thing, the report is nobody was hurt, or a tree fell across the road, it blocked traffic,
Right.
But since knowing you, it makes me realize that there's a lot of unreported
there really is
trees that fall on homes. Right. And so, in other words, the conclusion is it happens way more than I ever believed.
Right.
And just a big wake-up call that says you got to do something about those trees if they're posing a potential problem.
There's a lot more disasters happen than people realize. A lot more cars in homes, a lot more fires than people realize. And fortunately, you don't have as many fires where the whole home burns, but kitchen fires are common. There's several every week.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Now I got to be more careful.
In the Marion County
what
area,
catches on fire? Not the margarine, right? I hope.
I'm not sure.
I use margarine on everything.
I don't know if it's margarine or not, but there's lots of floods happen. You always end up with cars in homes. I should probably. What would be neat is for me to call the other disaster restoration companies and find out how many jobs they've got going, and we can combine and compare.
Well,
just for 1 week, just to see what everybody's doing.
But here's the thing: if anyone just subscribes to your Facebook page, just that alone, you're going to see on a regular basis somebody who's had some kind of a big issue with the physical structure they call home.
Yeah, I try to post a lot of our pictures, and I haven't got around to it, but we just finished a kitchen remodel that we're going to be able to post pictures of, and it wasn't a disaster. It was just somebody wanted to upgrade things. So it's not always disasters, but typically.
But that was a nice one too, by the way. I saw that one too.
Typically, we're going to have.
It's kind of a fun.
The kitchen you're talking about was a tree on the house.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was a tree fell through that kitchen.
Oh wow.
So that was out in the forest area out that way.
So we if you like the type of a program like extreme makeover programs for houses, I don't mean for humans, then I think your Facebook page serves that the entertainment thing, I guess. I mean, we're entertained by seeing other people have their problems fixed, I think.
Right. Well, and that's why I try to post a lot of pictures and keep everybody up to date as far as the progress on jobs and.
There's one time you posted two pictures that looked almost identical, and I wondered if I was supposed to use a stereoscope to see them. I was like,
it might have been an accident. Sometimes, using my cell phone, it's hard to say what happens.
Look like one of those photographs you put into the little thing, and you look at both eyes each see a different picture.
See something different.
Wow, that tree's really coming right at me.
That would be cool. I'll have to see if I can get an app for that.
An app for everything, right?
There you go.
3D pictures of your home. If you have a question for Joe, this is a good time to call. I don't know if you would want to ask about prevention, but that's not a bad thing to be thinking about. Is prevention?
Well, and that's we were talking about trees. Just since the beginning of July, we've had all these pop-up storms come through, or even just before July, the end of June. And we've picked up quite a few jobs because of that. And I was talking to another restoration company, a guy from there, and he was telling me that they've had the same experience. And, it's right now it would be very hard to get a tree guy to come trim trees or to take a tree out because there's so many disasters. As far as trees on homes or emergency situations where they've got to remove trees. But it's always... better safe than sorry. If you've got a tree that's leaning towards the house, there's a good chance it will come down on your house.
Yeah. All you have to do is drive down this second street, whatever is behind us.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. Mm-hmm. Trees that look like they could be a problem for somebody.
Yeah. And, different trees, certain types of trees, they call them a blackjack oak or a water oak. These are trees that are more... They will fall before your live oaks. So
they're the ones that fall first. Oh really?
So it's always good to have it depends on what kind of tree you have and then but we've done jobs where pine trees have fallen on homes too. So
and sometimes it's not the tree; it's the limb of the tree.
Right.
I think that was the case with Carol Ann's porch. I think a big limb fell down and crushed the porch. But that happened. That's years ago with a tree near me. Mm-hmm. A big limb. I mean, huge. You could have. It looked like a tree when it was down in the ground.
The house that I posted the pictures of yesterday, and we went out there and tarped it in. Several years ago, they had a limb fall out of the tree that fell on the house, and put a hole through their roof. So they had to get that fixed a couple years ago.
And I guess the reason the news doesn't report every one of them because there's too many of them, and then we only hear about them after a threatening type of a storm. It doesn't have to be a hurricane.
Right.
Something that's severe and has everybody a little bit rattled. Then the newspapers and the radio stations, we all do it.
Everybody jumps on the excitement.
We report a story, and then there you go.
I have never really thought about. Whenever a storm comes through and we get a bad, a bad storm, or we get a job where there's a tree in a house to call and let the press know about
the media.
It
Doesn't even seem to be a necessity. Yeah, your job is to put somebody back into a place where they're comfortable again.
That would
it's not comfortable,
be good.
Is it, to have a hole in your roof?
No, it's not comfortable at all.
The phone number I should mention is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-WOCA, if you'd like to speak to Joe, who is with Damage Control. And the phone number is the important part of this show, because without that phone number, you're going to know all this information and not know who to call.
And very soon, I've got to pick them up here. We're going to have refrigerator magnets.
Refrigerator magnets, yeah.
So if anybody wants one, you can call me or email me, and I'll get you a refrigerator magnet.
I really think everybody should have one. Because this is you're in the type of business where we think, oh, I don't need to call him.
And I hope you never do have to call me.
Yeah, but statistically, there are, what do we have, like 350,000 in this area, people?
Right.
Okay, so statistically, somebody out there is going to be calling you or needing to call you, like, within a day.
Right.
How many calls do you get a day?
It really varies.
At least one, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, my phone's constantly ringing. Between the three of us, we're always getting phone calls for something. It doesn't always pan out to be a job or something that's worth us doing.
I have a kind of a technology question and then a modern day question.
Okay.
I think. Do people... I know the phone book company's going to hate me for asking this, but do people still use Yellow Pages?
Yes.
I never do. Okay.
Yes, we still get calls from people that say.
So what category is Damage Control under? What are you looking up?
Disaster restoration or water. Flood.
There's actually a category like that.
Yeah.
And
fire restoration as well.
So the technology part would be, because I imagine most people use their smartphones to look things up. Is it the same thing? How do you do that? I mean, is there Yellow Pages on the?
Yeah, I mean, but you can just do a Google search.
Just Google search for.
Unfortunately, my company doesn't necessarily come up too high there yet. When it's something we're working on, as far
as if you put damage control.
Yeah, if you put damage control, that would come up. But as far as if somebody just typed in disaster restoration or water restoration, we're still working on getting those things. But if somebody typed in damage control, it would come up.
I know a secret on how to move you up the Google thing.
You do?
Yes. Do you want me to tell you how to do it?
Sure.
All right.
We'll let everybody know the secret.
Yeah, and it's okay. You can use it. We're all family here.
There you go.
All right. So I can do this for you. I can take your. What is the website again?
DamageFlorida.com.
Okay, and I could put a link to your site on my site.
Okay.
And if Robin puts a link to your site on her site, and you get everybody you know, say, you just embed it somewhere. You can even, here's a secret to this, by the way. If you don't want to clog up your site looking like it's got stuff, you type it in white on white or black on black. It's not visible, unless you want it to be visible. But I mean, if you want to hide it, use a black font on a black background. It'll still work as a link, and Google will still view it as, this guy's got a lot of links to his site.
So all I need to do is know how to put a link on my site.
Yes.
And add it to my chain. And I've got a longer chain.
Well, you don't want to put a link on your own, unless you have another company.
I got you.
But if you have other people, like if WOCA, which I think we do.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure Robin has it on there. Actually, we have for you Damage Control Services
-sci.com.
Yes, and that's the right one.
Yeah, it's the same. We have two different.
So you have one already from us.
Oh, excellent.
On a regular basis.
I just need more.
So I can do one, because Robin and I have our little music thing we do on the side.
Right.
My uncle's friends is what we call her.
Yep. I'm following it on Facebook.
But see, we could put it on ours. I never thought about doing this, but it would help. It would help bump you up the Google thing.
That would be good.
And seriously, I mean, you know a lot of people, so you just kind of network with those people and say, hey, I'll put yours on mine if you put mine on yours, and we'll bump each other up.
We have done that with a couple with HDG hotels, where we've shared links like that, I guess.
So I have to tell you where I got that information from.
Okay.
Kim Commando.
Do I know her?
She's a pretty lady. Well, she does a radio show. I don't know her. I don't know her, but it was, she's like a tech lady. I'm
not very tech savvy.
Neither am I, but she is.
Okay.
And so I learned that little tip, and it's a good way to help each other out. Actually.
Yeah. Sure would be good I would like to be able to get our website up, where everybody, if you typed in flood restoration Ocala or something like that, would come right up. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, and I think each one of these videos has a link to it as well.
Okay.
I think so. But I'm not so sure if that registers as one because it's all on the same page,
right?
Or if it's many. Kind of went off topic a little bit there, but
yeah. Do a little technical. Tech stuff with us.
But in your line of work, technical, modern technical stuff is part of what you do. But when it comes right down to what you really do, it's chainsaws and good old
putting people's
muscles.
lives back together.
Yeah.
And that's what we've talked about getting an app for our company, as far as somebody could have an app on their cell phone if they had damage, or they could start the process. But we've never really gone anywhere with that. I don't know why not. I guess we could, but typically when somebody has my experience, whenever someone has had a disaster and they pick up the phone and we answer the phone, because my phone's on 24 hours a day. So somebody calls me and I answer the phone, they're wanting answers right then. They're wanting to talk to somebody right now. They're not wanting to fill out a form and get more information.
That's got to be number one. A tree fell in my house. How soon can you get it fixed?
Right.
Or at least how soon can you get over here and look at it?
And that's something, we try to get there. One of us is going immediately. If someone calls with a disaster, one of us is going to be heading that way immediately and organizing the rest of the team, getting, the truck loaded with whatever we're going to need in order to fix that person.
Is there any headache associated with the red tape part of what you do? In other words, you have to pull permits for everything? And
Yes. And it's funny you ask that question, because there's quite a bit of behind the scenes stuff that has to happen if somebody has a disaster. It's not as easy as filing an insurance claim. Insurance writes you a check and you as the homeowner hire me to fix it. That doesn't quite necessarily work that way.
But that's why we hire professionals, because we don't have to worry about it. You come to the scene and we kind of rely on you.
We need to get everybody involved in the process, and there's quite a few people.
I see everything in my life is like this. I have to have help with everything. I don't do anything. Look, I didn't invent this microphone. Right? Look, Dan put this switch in here that I'm going to use to answer the phone right now. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
I just filled out my insurance application again, or reapplying for homeowners. You have to do that every year.
Right.
And in there was a clause in there to talk about. Well, it talks about if you have damage, the allowances that it will be given to you for the updates or upgrades to keep your house up to the code.
Right.
In other words, if something punches a hole in a roof or something, and you go to get it fixed, and you want to just other than patching the hole, you might need a new roof. Well, it might be covered. I think on my insurance it would be covered if it's deemed that you need a new roof. But the roof has to be brought up to code. And I was just wondering if that is that for everything, or is it just the insurance policy that I have there where they can wrangle a couple more bucks out of you, or not? Now hang up and listen. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question. That's a good question. A lot of times, your insurance policies will allow for code upgrades, and what one that comes to mind for me. In a job that we did, it was a fire job, and quite a bit of the house was burnt, and we had to replace some windows. And in order to bring it up to code, we had to make the openings of the windows bigger in order to allow for egress. So, just as safety-wise, if something happens and somebody needs to get out of that window, escape from that window because of a fire or some sort of problem, they're able to. And that's considered a code upgrade. So we ended up changing all the windows in the house to bring it up to code. And that's something that is allowed for in your insurance policy, and they build that in so that way, homes are built safely and they're kept up to date. Sometimes whenever we're doing some repairs to homes, we had one that we did, it was an older house and it wasn't fastened down properly to the piers that it was built on. And so we had to retro fasteners underneath this home in order to fasten it to the piers. So, that's considered a code upgrade, and these are things that the county requires from you, and it's not necessarily something your insurance requires or your insurance even wants to do, because that makes the claim even larger.
Yeah, right.
But yet it's something that's required by the building codes, modern day building codes.
Do you know what? I came into being aware, and I'm going through the process of selling my mom's home. So there was an inspection done, and there were no vents in the eaves of the roof.
Right.
And apparently that's a requirement now, but wasn't back then.
Right.
So it's only a $450 project, so it's not a big deal. But I'm guessing that happens a lot too, where if something is damaged and you're fixing it, and it was a long time ago, so the codes have changed.
Right. Well, codes have changed, or building materials have changed, and something like that. The material that you would use for that would probably be vented soffit now. So,
vented soffit. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
What is the soffit? Is that the side of the? Is that the wall?
No, the soffit is what comes out where your gutters are. That's your fascia is under your gutters, and then the bottom side of that, going back to the house, is the soffit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I misunderstood what they were saying.
Soffit and fascia.
Sounds like a comedy team, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does. But there's all kinds of things, and that's kind of goes into your other question as well. Whenever someone has a disaster, there might be a lot more that needs done, with a home to repair it and bring it back up to code. And going into further what you said, a lot of times people think that work is going to be done quickly when they have a disaster and get them back into their home. And sometimes it doesn't work out necessarily that way, because your insurance company is going to put your mortgage company's name on the check, typically, depending on the amount. But, if your mortgage company's name is on the check, you send the check to them after you endorse it, send it off to them, and then they send you a third of it to get the project started, a third when you're halfway through, and then
they dole it
when
out.
you're finished. So, and they want to do inspections to make sure that the home's getting repaired right. And correctly, so because they have a vested interest in it as well.
Right.
They're holding the mortgage. They don't want you taking that money and going on vacation and not getting the home repaired.
Right.
So, this is a process that sometimes is going to take a little bit longer to get, all the paperwork right and all the forms, into them and everything approved in order to get money to get the project started, and then a continual process to make sure it all gets done. So, even when we get all done with a job, we need to fill out and send into your insurance company a satisfaction of completion form, and basically that states that you're happy and satisfied with all the work and everything's been done, and we'll send in a couple pictures with that so that they can look at it and go, oh, okay, everything is done, and then your insurance company will be satisfied that things are taken care of as well.
The phone number is what you're going to need as a listener, so Joe's going to tell you the phone number right now, but remember, there is a magnet that is being produced as we speak.
Yep, they should be ready this week, and we can get everybody that wants one a refrigerator magnet, or 2 or 3, and you can share with your friends.
I hope this proves to be a very good idea.
I think it will be. Why wouldn't it be?
Oh, it's got to be. I mean, it's got to be the kind of a thing. Hey, I've had a magnet on my refrigerator forever. I don't know, what is this? It's a Coca-Cola bottle, I think.
Okay. So it's not even a useful one.
No, it doesn't do anything. Well, it's got a thermometer.
Okay, well,
on
it's
it.
useful then.
But you can't see it, and who cares what temperature it is?
Look at your thermostat for that, right? Yeah, my phone number is 352-817-6574. Or you can call our office, 352-622-5135. Or you can email me, joe@damageflorida.com. And friend me on Facebook, Joe Reichel, and Reichel. And you can follow all of our posts that we do, because I'll send you a like request for damage control services. So,
and if you link Damage Control Florida from your website to Joe's website, you'll help him jump up in the Google search thing.
And I would appreciate the help.
So we're going to do that. I'm going to do that for you on the sites that we manage.
Thank you.
DamageFlorida.com is the website.
Yep.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
It was always good, and just a great idea to hold on to Joe's number and call us if you need it, because we have it, of course. Thank you, Joe.
Anytime.
We will take a break. Be right back.
Damage control. Damage control. Damage control.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
ABC News Now.